Hello and welcome to an extremely special video today. This video has been a long time coming. I want to say a huge thank you to all of you for your patience. The last time I did one of these videos was over 3 years ago, and this is a video of my entire Imperium force. It has literally taken me days to set all of this up. It's a little bit sad because we may never get to see them all out again, you know, like this, in this area, with just, you know, the few things I've got planned coming up. And well, even the models that don't feature in this video, if I was to include those, it would just be too big for this area. So it's a little bit sad. I'm not sure when I will do another one of these videos. I'll have to hire a haul out or something. And I did want to bring you my entire collection of Warhammer, like every single miniature, but it's now just not possible to fit in one room. So this is the entire Imperium force. It's not all of the models that I own. It doesn't include the Chaos armies, the Xenos armies, or any of the Age of Sigmar models, or the small Adeptus Titanicus force I'm building, or the Necromunda. But I wanted to get out all of the Imperium force for you today. We will go through some fun facts and statistics in a short while, but let me just give you a rundown of the force. The force consists of my entire Space Marines chapter, including all of the Primaris down there on the right, of which there are over 200. Overall, there's over 700 Space Marines, so I'm not far off an entire chapter. I'm confident that with a few more units of tactical Space Marines and some of the new Primaris units that are coming out, I will reach that goal of 1,000 Space Marines for the chapter. Finally finish the chapter. That will be a great feeling, and I'd like to do that next year. There will be a separate video of just Space Marines. Likewise, there'll be a separate video of just Space Marine tanks. So I hope you enjoy those videos too. But on top of the Space Marine chapter with the Primaris reinforcements, it also includes the Legio Titanicus Titan Maniple, which is one Warlord Titan, one Nemesis Warbringer Titan, Arriva Titan, and 2 Warhounds. Now, if you watch the channel, you'll know that I do own a second Warlord, and construction is on the way for that one. And there will be a separate Titan collection video coming very soon as well, where I talk about each individual Titan and my plans for the Titan Legion. It also consists of a knightly house there, of where there are 16 knights, including 3 of these Erastus knights. And there are also 20 Titan Guard hidden around the feet of those Titans. There is a small force of Adeptus Mechanicus, and I would like to expand that Mechanicus range a bit more. There's a few more units that I'd like to support that force with, and there is potential of starting a Mechanicum army. And there is a potential of bolstering that force with Mechanicum. If we move you over here with a nice array of gold, there is a Talons of the Emperor contingent consisting of decently sized Custodian Guard force and a few Sisters of Silence. Over in the back there, hidden away, there's an inquisitorial force with a number of inquisitors, their entourage including some bounty hunters. There's a Death Watch force and Grey Knights. And then over here on the left, you've got the start of my Sisters of Battle army, which I covered at the start of 2020. Before I zoom in to each of the forces individually, like I give you a really good zoom, I'd just like to announce that there are still a few units that are missing that didn't make it into this video, such as the 2nd Warlord Titan, the 2nd Astreus Super Heavy Tank, and the Ares Gunship. And there's also a number of Primaris units that didn't make it into the video. I have to make this video at some point, and I decided now was a decent time to do it. If I had chosen to build those units, I wouldn't be making this video right now. There would have been a delay by another month or so. However, the demand for this video was pretty high, and I no longer wished to delay the creation of it. What I will say that did make it into the video that wasn't present 3 years ago was the Nemesis Titan. That was not there 3 years ago. The 3 new Cerastus Knights, the entire Primaris force just wasn't present, and the entire Sisters of Battle force. So although there's a couple of units that didn't make it, there's an awful lot that has been added over these 3 years. And you'll see that in the Xenos armies with the huge expansion of the Necron force, the birth of the Death Guard, and my dive into Chaos, and just the huge explosion of Age of Sigmar models that I've collected over these 3 years too. All in all, I'd probably say that I've doubled the collection in these 3 years. So one of the first questions people have about my collections and things is, Super, how much did that cost you? Well, you've made it this far into the video, so I'll explain. This army took me over 20 years to collect. I didn't go out and buy it overnight or even over a few years. It's over 20 years. That amount of time might even be longer than a few of you have been on this planet. So it's taken a long time to collect, but there has been an increased growth over the past 3 years. The Titans alone, just for those 5 models, would cost you £4,000, and that's just for 5 models. All of the Knights down there, of which there are 16, that would cost over £2,000. So we're already at £6,000 just from the big walkers that you can see, not including all of the tanks and things like that. So Super, how much does this collection cost you in total? Now, going along with what I said about it taking me over 20 years, this collection right here, just for the Imperium side of things, is worth over £20,000. That's my conservative calculations kicking in. That's with the Titans and Knights costing over 6,000. There's 2 flyers over there that cost about £1,500 in total. Some tanks are £200, £300. The Custodes collection is over £2,000. So you can see there's a huge amount that's been invested into this Imperium force, and it's not finished. Will it ever be finished? Yeah, I'm close to that finishing point. Before we zoom into each of the models and units, I say individually, I will go through just some fun facts about this force. Of course, there are 5 Titans there, there are 16 Knights, there are 23 Dreadnoughts, there are 114 Terminators, there are 60 tanks and 11 flyers, and as I said, about 500 Legacy Space Marines and about 200 Primaris Space Marines. But Super, what about points cost? You've given us the prices, you've given us some of the number of the units there. What about points? We want to know, how many points does a collection like this cost you? It's over 70,000 points. You've got to remember there are 16,000 points of Titans in that shot, and about 4,000 points worth of Knights. And then we've still got some individual units which are 1,000 or close to 1,000 points each, such as the Stormbird and the Thunderhawk. Even the Mastodon is knocking on the door at 1,000 with 800 points. There's 4,000 points of Land Raiders right there. I've been very conservative with my forces in only putting like 1,000 points with Grey Knights and 1,000 points of Deathwatch. I've been very conservative with the Primaris forces. Tanks, there's over 3,000. Dreadnoughts, there's over 2,000. So yeah, I worked it out, including all the characters and other bits and bobs. It's about 70,000 points overall. That's what I've calculated it to be. And that's using the very, very up-to-date Space Marine Codex and the Imperium Armour Compendium. Okay, super. You've given us all of the facts, the points costs, the actual price costs of the models, and the unit numbers, but there are still a few questions on the tip of our tongues. Well, what's your favourite model in this entire collection? I can already see that comment coming through, and that is the Warlord Titan, followed closely by the Thunderhawk gunship. It's my pride and joy. It's one of the reasons why I picked up a second one 5 years later. Can you believe it? It's been over 5 years since I purchased that model, and it's absolutely fantastic. It's on display all the time. It's a real showcase. It's one of my favourite models to display just because of the amount of work that went into it. I will be doing a separate video for the Titan, so I'll cover them a little bit more closely. But as you can see, plenty of detail on that miniature. If we just move to the right, we've also got this little guy right here, the Nemesis Warbringer Titan. All the armour plates and things are off right now. It is a work in progress. I'm currently working on this one. It's at the painting stage, which I'm really pleased about. Then moving over to the right, we've got a Arriva Titan, which is a fair bit smaller. And then we've got 2 Warhounds. Protecting all of them, I don't know whether you can see them through the legs, but there is a small force of Titan Guard. You really need some ground troops to protect your Titans from foot soldiers. Then I've got a few Knights in form of the Cerastus Lancer, the Castigator and the Acheron. And then we've got some more Questoris Knights here, Castellan and a Valiant. Some Armigers and Helverins, Canis Rex, a couple more Knights, and the Porphyrion, which, as you can see, if you've been part of any of the size comparisons, it's pretty much the same height as a Warhound if you were thinking about picking one up. Then we've got a small force of Adeptus Mechanicus. I did really think that I had more of those, but I guess it's still a growing army. I really was under the impression I had more than 20 little troops, but I guess I've been using them all for Titan Guard. If we look down here, we've got the entire force of the Primaris. There's over 200 Primaris Space Marines in total. We've got some of the tanks, including the new Gladiator, and a couple of Repulsors, and the Impulsor and the Executioner. We've got one of 2 of my Astraeus Super Heavy tanks. I much prefer the bigger tracked vehicles that we're going to see in a moment. Moving along the line, we've got all of these dreadnoughts, a huge number of them there, and they are backed up by all of these tanks. So yeah, there are 4 Vindicator tanks there. If we move over to the left, there are about 9 Rhinos. Need to get a fair few of those. I've only got 6 Predators. Shocking. There's a few bundles on Forge World that I'll need to pick up to boost their numbers. Yeah, an absolutely insane amount of Land Raiders there. I think there's like 13 or so. And then you've got some Land Raider chassis, the super heavy variants like the Spartans. That's a Spartan there. Next to it is a Typhon. You've got a Cerberus over there in the top left. You've got the Command Land Raider from Warhammer World. You've got the Mastodon. Lovely kit. I'd love a second one. You've got another Spartan and a Fellblade. I'd love the Falchion and Glaive one day. You've got the Thunderhawk gunship, my second favourite model. I would not hesitate to pick up a second one of them. Absolutely lovely kit. Then you've got an Orion dropship for the Custodes. Haven't put my Ares one together yet. Then you've got the Stormbird, absolutely huge flyer. Yes, it's not as big as a Tau Manta, but it is huge. After the Warlord and the Nemesis, it's probably the biggest model I own. I can't really do it justice from this angle, but it is huge. You can tell how tall it is because it's kind of almost as tall as the Mastodon there, and it's got the top wings. You've got a few flyers hidden there. You've got a Vulture gunship that's landed. You've got a Valkyrie and a Corvus Blackstar. You've got the Xiphon Interceptor. I'd love a few more of those. You've got a couple of Storm Ravens and Storm Talons. And then you've got a few Sicarans. and a number of land speeders, and a number of bikes. And then we get to some of the other forces. So if we just jump on over to there, and then you will see the Death Watch, the Inquisitors. I think you can just see Eisenhorn right there, surrounded by assassins. You've got some of the bounty hunters from Blackstone Fortress. They're flanked on the left with the Death Watch, and then the Inquisitorial Force is also flanked on the right by start of, well, more Death Watch, and then the start of the Grey Knights. Not very many Grey Knights at all. But then there is an explosion of gold right here with all of these Custodes. There's a Telemon that is a fan favourite. You've got Valdor there. You've got a number of Custodes, Dreadnoughts of the different tanks. There's even a Land Raider there. And some Venatari, and some of the Custodes jet bikes. You see I'm following a theme there with the jet bikes, the normal bikes, and then we go into more fast attack in the form of probably about 70 assault marines, all with jump packs. Let's carry on over to the left still, and we look at the Sisters of Silence and the Sisters of Battle. A number of units there. They're all covered in the new releases. Lots of these flying Seraphim and Zephyrim. They were an absolute pain to put on the stand setting this up. And then you've got an absolute sea of Space Marines. If you like Space Marines, yeah, this is why you're here. Hundreds of them in both the normal armor, current 41st Millennium armor, and then we've got some Mark 3s and Mark 4 variants. And then we've got just hiding behind Sanguinius, there is Gulliman, and there's Sanguinius, the Primarch himself. So yeah, there are two Primarchs in this force. We've got Garrow and Rubio. Maybe I will collect more of the Knights Errant, who knows? And you've got plenty of characters there. Some of them are limited, some of them you can no longer get. Yeah, I'm very, very pleased with the sort of characters in that force. I'm very, very pleased with the HQ characters. Moving back to the right, you've got a load of Vanguard and Sternguard, and then you've got all of those 100 Terminators. If you like Terminators, again, this is the video for you. All 100 of them. Yeah, it's a sea of Terminators. And then we move over back to the Primaris. There's about 6 Centurions there. I'd like to get 3 more. Nice round figure of 9. I did forget to mention the most elite units of this entire force is the Scouts. They're extremely elite. Probably about 70 Scouts or so, right there. So there you go. That is my entire Imperium force. I wish I was able to do a yearly update video on this force, but I'm just happy that I was able to do one this year, and I hope it's cheered this year up for you a little bit, and I really do hope I'm able to create another one of these videos in the future. It did take me days to take all of these models out and to set them up, and it's going to take me a long time to put them back in their boxes. Because this isn't displayed, you know, all the time. This room is used for other things. But I also want to take this opportunity to say a huge thank you to everyone that was patient for the video, and a massive thank you to Bob for helping me find a missing unit. Thanks, Bob, really appreciate that. And thank you to everyone that's supported me throughout all these 3 years. Everyone that uses the Element Games affiliate link every time they buy things. It really does help the channel out, and allows me to continue making these videos. I always say I don't do this as a job. This is a hobby. So the time it's taken me to get this whole collection out and to record it and to edit it and all the rest of it takes time that I could be using to chill out, time for myself. So thank you for those people that support this content, and leave encouraging, motivating comments. It really does. I really do appreciate it. It really does help me out. So as I say, if you do like this content and you've enjoyed this video, it's not every day you get to see an army worth £20,000 on, you know, in a video. So please do leave a like, subscribe, and consider joining as a member, and then you get access to all the other exclusive video content. So good luck with all of your collections. Thank you for joining me today. Thank you for watching. The Emperor protects.